Hello, everybody. So going into Death Doll, I didn't know a whole lot about it. I just knew that it kind of has a reputation as being hard to find, and that's about it. Now, just by going by the cover of it, I was expecting it to be a micro budget ripoff of a child's play. It's definitely not that. You know, I got about 15 minutes into it, and I realized, holy crap, they actually tried to make a real movie here. So it starts off with a young couple in an antique shop, and they find a coin activated fortune telling machine. You know, kind of like in Big with Tom Hanks. It's that kind of thing. So the girl puts her coin into it, and it predicts that she is pregnant. And so the guy is like, you know, there, I told you that this thing is ridiculous. And the girl decides that's a good time to let him know that actually she is pregnant. And of course he's happy about that, and to prove his point, he puts a coin in, and it tells him that he will die soon. You know, and so he's not as happy about that, but he stands by it, and he says that it's all nonsense, and when it got hers right, it was just a lucky coincidence, and there ain't anything to be worried about. So fade to black. It comes back to his head it comes back to his headstone. He apparently died in a fire not long after that. So now he has left her pregnant and a widow and thoroughly creeped out, even more so because somebody keeps calling her, making threats on her life, and a creepy doll keeps turning up around her house. And things take a darker turn when she stops by her old apartment to pick up some things, and learns that the girl that lives in her old apartment was horribly murdered. And so it's apparent there is a bad guy after her. So she is understandably terrified. So who is trying to kill her, and why? What's the deal with the doll, and what's the deal with the weird fortune telling machine? Well, at least at least 3 of those 4 questions will be answered. Like I said, I was expecting a copy of Child's Play, but it's not that at all. It came out like a year after Child's Play, and so I think they were just trying to capitalize on that a bit and make some fast money. So if you go into it expecting that, you're going to be disappointed, and honestly, you'll probably be disappointed anyhow, because even though I liked it, I think I'm just about the only one who does. It's not got a whole lot of fans out there. It's not a killer doll film at all. The doll actually is kind of a small part of things. It's more the doll is more the killer's calling card. It's so if you go into it expecting a killer doll, you're going to be let down. And I think that's part of why it has why a lot of people have a negative reaction to it. But if you go into it with no expectations, then then I think that you'll have a a better and and a more positive experience. It was directed by a guy named William Mims, who this is the only thing that he ever did, but his acting resume spans over 30 years. He was in a whole bunch of stuff. He was in a lot of westerns. He was in a lot of cop stuff. He was a character actor who kind of he was a character actor who was in a lot of like authority type roles. He did a whole lot of TV work, and it shows in Death Doll. Because if I had to compare it to something, what it felt like to me are the old horror and thriller made for TV films made back in the 1970s. You know, like the movie of the or week type of things, which I love those, and that's I'd say that's a big part of why I like Death Doll a lot more than most folks seem to. I can't say it's a film for everybody out there. You know, it's not. It's. I think a lot of people see it as being dull, but you know, there are parts in it that are very well done, I thought, and I would love to see it get a new release and to find a wider audience. I think that if that could happen, and if folks went into it not being misled by the cover art, I think that it would find a few more fans anyway. So that's it. Thank you guys, and bye bye.